This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
The last thing they saw was someone they trusted. You're tuned in to Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski, featuring retired FBI special agent and chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
The trial of Richard Allen, as of this recording, it is still going on. By the time you hear or watch this, there may, in fact, be a verdict. The defense is just rested as of our recording here. It has been a fascinating trial from everything that we've understood, not having access to the courtroom with cameras or video or audio. We have had some very interesting reporting coming out. Bob Motta of Defense Diaries has been in there. We've been following his reporting throughout all of this. And of course, we will talk with him very soon and get his reviews on what it was like at the second half of this. Right now, they're Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent, chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, joining us once again to kind of get a thought on this as it's about to go to a jury. The defense, they didn't spend a ton of time using their platform, but they certainly had a lot to say counter to the prosecution while it was going in. The psychiatrists were very interesting. You had the one from the prosecution side who had a lot of issues going on with leaking information left and right. And it wasn't on the up and up. And then you had the defense psychiatrist that has come in and said, you know what? Yeah, the fact that he was eating the Bible, running into the wall, and his own feces were on the menu as well. It probably wasn't all there. I don't think he was psychologically sound, probably psychotic at the time. I don't think it needs a defense expert for us to know that. What are your thoughts on all of this, and then how that plays into the big question of credibility and making 60 plus confessions behind bars while he was in that state?
Yeah, I am still solid on what I'm thinking with what we've seen so far, Tony. I love changing my mind. I love that, being surprised that by new evidence or new things that are revealed and saying, "Oh, I got it wrong." Let's shift. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, I enjoy those moments because they're learning moments.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we do not have that yet in my mind. Mm-hmm. I still am solid the fact that I don't see a behavior arc in him that says this is the type of behavior he would do. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to confessions, what the psychiatrist for the defense highlighted to me is what's really, really relevant when it comes to these confessions. She talks about the duress he's under. He talks about the effects of isolation and all the horrendous things he was doing. He talks himself, remember, at the first interview and / interrogation about his suicidal thoughts. So I did the research on this. I don't have the exact percentages, but the only thing I'm thinking of is suicide by cop kind of mentalities. Mm-hmm. Like everyone can Google for themselves. How often does someone falsely confess because they're suicidal? Mm-hmm. In other words, I just want out of the pain. And it actually is more common than you'd think. People will confess to crimes they didn't commit, especially murders, in times when they are just trying to get out of the pain. Yeah. And when you look at the details of his confession, it reads like it read in the newspaper. I didn't see anything that was very, very sweeping, very paintbrushy, nothing that he would have heard from someone else, especially cops that are interrogating him poorly, that probably gave him leakage on the details and things like that he would have used to just get out of the pain. Just use this opportunity to just end it. Maybe he thought I'd give myself the death penalty. Maybe I'll just end it. Because he was suicidal before he even went in there, according to his words. Yeah. So and again, when you couple that with bad investigation and just nothing solid except a bullet casing that, again, the defense came in with another expert saying, what? Yeah. Nah, it doesn't quite fit.
And I think it's interesting to identify what pain means, because I think a lot of people have different identifications of what that can mean for someone, what it can make someone do. And it probably has a lot to do with what one's own story is, what one went through in their life as pain. And when they judge other people saying they're in pain, going, well, you ain't seen nothing yet if they've been through something far worse. But this also, I think, really speaks, though, to the misunderstanding or lack of understanding that we have of mental health in our country and how painful and damaging that can be. It doesn't mean he's out in the general population getting beat up every day or what. He's in a cell that he can't move around in, no human interaction for years. That's pain. That's such horrible mental anguish that very likely led him to act out the way that he did. But I don't know that everyone equates that to pain. There's a lot of people that will look at that and go, oh, he's just acting. He's doing whatever he needs to do to get out of this. There's a point in the human mind where it's like, no, they're not acting. They're going nuts because their brain is trying to survive or get out.
Yeah, it's so funny. We were just talking about this on the other segment.
Yeah.
The things I read, because I read a lot of survival types of books, especially when it comes to exploration.
Yeah.
And I just got done with Madhouse at the End of the Earth, the story of the Belgica is a story of the Belgian ship that first got trapped in Antarctica in late 1800s, early 1900s. And they call it the Madhouse at the End of the Earth for a reason. What we as a species, as an organism on this planet go through with a few things is profound. It's why NASA does massive studies. One of the greatest hurdles for going to Mars is one, technology, two, and the technology to deal with the radiation. But the big studies that they're doing is the effects of human isolation. That's why they do the U.S., the International Space Station to study all these things, because Madhouse at the End of the Earth, people were literally losing their minds because of no sunlight and isolation. And this is isolation with 12 people on a boat. Mm-hmm. And it was still considered isolation with food that came out of cans and a lack of sunlight, which is huge on the psychological effect. Then when you put that duress of our physiology in coupling with what he was most likely, who knows, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but most likely, as he's self-describing, depression beforehand that he told the cops during interrogation, the likelihood that he already has chemical imbalances, which is a massive thing to deal with that psychological trauma of the isolation and the lack of sunlight. And I can't believe he is well off as he is because of those things. He's most likely very resilient and durable because of those things, because that is a massive assault on our senses. Yeah,
he managed to come out of it. The way he's acting in court, from most accounts, Bob, who's been in there, there's been some people that say he's acting a little but Bob's been watching me like, I don't know, he looks like any client I've ever had interacting with me. Right. So I'm taking his word for it that it's not a lot that's going, weird here in the courtroom with him. Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
You're in the thick of a true crime saga, every detail sinking in, and then, wham, a commercial about something you couldn't care less about. It's like being served a microwaved dinner at a 5-star restaurant. But it doesn't have to be this way. Go for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. With True Crime Today Premium Plus, you get uninterrupted, ad-free episodes, extended interviews that dig even deeper into the muck, and early access so you can brag to your friends. It's like ordering the secret menu at a crime buffet. So, search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, and savor every twisted detail without interruption.